Hello friends, I am Dr. Jitendra Joshi, the founder president of Global India Business Forum, a leading international business chamber in India. And the chamber specifically work from the SME sector, small and medium sector enterprises, not just for India, but the many part of the world. And we always try that different countries needs to be highlighted properly with their culture, their business, and the future opportunity for Indian and the businessman from that country. So today we are at the Embassy and High Commissioner of Guyana, and the official name is the Republic of Guyana. The Guyana is a small country in the South America. The surrounded countries in the south, there is Brazil, such as big country like Brazil. There's also the Venezuela, then Suriname, and is another side is the northern side is a big ocean.
The Atlantic Ocean.
Atlantic Ocean is there, and if today we want to introduce Guyana, definitely some countries in the world, like Guyana is definitely one of the more prominent country apart from Suriname, Trinidad, Tobago, Fiji, Mauritius. So these are the countries where actually we found a lot of Indian footprints were there, because in the British era, around 200 years back, a lot of our brothers, sisters from the area from the Uttar Pradesh, then the Bihar, even the Jharkhand, which is today the new states a few years back. So a lot of our people went there, and Britishers asked them to come to work for the various kind of activities. But now today's, if you see the situation, almost 40% Indian origin people in Guyana. Out of that, almost 24-25% are the Hindu communities also there. And it's really nice, and it's a pride that these countries and our people are maintaining such a nice culture there. So today with us, the High Commissioner of Guyana in India, and we want to know more about his career, and then we will going to discuss more about opportunities, business opportunities in Guyana. But before that, we will, Excellency, welcome to our Global India Business Forum interview today. We just want to know more about your career as a politician, as a diplomat, and want to know more about the culture, music, food, maybe sports from Guyana.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Joshi, and I must express my gratitude and my happiness for being a part of this program. As you know, earlier in the year, took part in a few activities organized by the Global Indian Business Forum. And I must say they were well organized and quite successful. And we're happy here at the Guyana High Commission in Delhi to participate in future endeavors of the Global Indian Business Forum. My name, as you say, is Dharam Kumar Siraj. I'm from rural Guyana. I have an agriculture background. I attended schools there in Guyana and also in China and in Russia for specialized training. In China, I did some specialized training in the development of hybrid rice varieties. That's plant breeding, so that we could use that technology in Guyana to enhance our yield potential of the local varieties. I've been very active in the agriculture sector. I joined the Guyana Rice Producers Association, which was established in 1946, a few years before Guyana got independence as the British Guyana Rice Producers Association. Of course, I didn't join in 1946, so I joined in 1989 as an extension officer providing services for farmers, and by 1999, I became the General Secretary of the Guyana Rice Producers Association, a position which I still hold. And by virtue of my activism in the agriculture sector representing farmers, I also became a member of Parliament 17 years ago. And I've been continuously in the Parliament. I've been a member of the Public Accounts Committee for 10 years, a member of the Economic Service Committee for 5 years. Several times I acted as Speaker of the National Assembly, given my long tenure there. And I think when this, sometimes when we have budget debates, they can go on for 10, 12 hours, and it's very difficult for the speaker to stay throughout and to remain focused and then he will call upon me to take over the session. And for the posting, I must say that I was approached by the President of Guyana in 2023, actually, to fill the then vacant post of High Commissioner to India. And I said, Mr. President, I'm a politician, I'm not much of a diplomat. And he said, no, 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 politicians also make very good diplomats. And, the government of India is very keen on accelerating cooperation between the two countries. And, we have to cut through red tapes and all of that. And we want you to go there. And I was a bit hesitant before. First of all, it's halfway across the globe, 9.5 hours behind in terms of time, 25 hours flying time away, and to leave family and all of that. And he said, you can take your family. So I finally accepted the proposal, I accepted the post, and I came here in January of this year. Basically, at the behest of the President and the Vice President, to do my best to promote the interests of my country and to promote the interests of India and to enhance our bilateral relations. As you mentioned earlier, Guyana, the composition of our population, we're a small country, just 214,000 square kilometers. The population of the Indo-Guyanese faction of our population was over 40%, but migration had an impact, migration to North America, to Europe and the Caribbean, and now we're just below 40%, and that is a concern. And in 1838, our first ancestors would have landed in Guyana, and they brought with them, of course, their culture, their cuisine, their songs, and all of that. And they came there as indentured laborers to replace the slaves after the abolition of slavery and to work on the sugar plantation. They were basically on a contract to come and work there in Guyana. And after your tenure, if you're not too happy, you can come back to India. And if you want to stay, you're also afforded opportunity to stay there. So many of the Indians who went there, they took the opportunity to remain. Some came back. And thus Guyana, as it is now currently composed, is about 37% of the comprising of Guyanese of Indian origin, about 28% of Guyanese of African origin. Yes. We have about 11% of the original people here, we call them Amerindians, and the rest will be comprised of Chinese, Portuguese, and Europeans of a different mixture. So we have managed to maintain some aspect of the culture. We still do Hindu weddings and Muslim weddings, and the priests there, the pandits, the majis, they will conduct the ceremonies, of course, in Hindi and in Arabic, and we still cook the same food. We eat out of the purina leaf and all of that, and at these functions, the meal served will be totally vegetarian and all of that, and we have a heavy influence of Indian music in Guyana, and I can tell you that many Guyanese of all ethnicities, they dance to the music without understanding the lyrics,
Okay.
or what it is actually saying, because music is universal.
Yes, yes.
And, the beat of the drums and the various other instruments, and, Indian music comprises of so many different other instruments. And they have quite a few Afro-Guyanese who are prolific Indian dancers. And like I said, like many of us, we don't really understand what the song is saying, the words, but we definitely move to the beat.
Great. So Excellency, it's really nice to know that a long-time politician, almost 17, 18 years, and as the President has suddenly approached you, and he believes you will be a good high commissioning position, and you are the right person for that. And we see you for last 1 year, and we see you at our programs also, the way you presented Guyana.
Yeah.
I think this is really amazing. So what is more challenging? Is it as a politician or as a diplomat?
It's more challenging to be a politician. Okay. In Guyana, because the politics, we no longer have the politics of the 1940s and the 1950s because of the hand of the British colonial masters in the local politics, because the first move for independence was started by a group of people who formed what was called the Patriotic Coalition for Democracy, and in and this coalition was established in 1946, and they they comprised mainly of Guyanese of Indian background and Guyanese of African background. Sorry, that was the Political Affairs Committee. It was established by 1946 by Chadi Jagan and Forbes Borna. This is Chadi Jagan is Indo-Guyanese, Forbes Borna was Afro-Guyanese. And they came together with two other persons, Janet Jagan and Joycelyn Hubbard, to establish a Political Affairs Committee in 1946, which became the People's Progressive Party in 1950. So 1950 gave birth to this political movement, and the Political Affairs Committee was established to start this movement for independence. Then under Chedi Jagan, the People's Progressive Party won the local elections, but the British suspended the constitution because Jagan in those days was seen to be more or less following a socialist path of development. And during those days, this was at the height of the Cold War. You had the Union of Soviet Republic on the one side, the Eastern Bloc or the Communist Bloc, and then you have NATO and you have the Western alliances, the Western Bloc, the capitalist bloc, and they had always these things going on. So the Americans and the British did not want to see the establishment of another left-leaning or socialist country in the Western Hemisphere. This was following the revolution, the Cuban Revolution, when Fidel Castro came to power in Cuba. He was also left-leaning, considered a communist. And together with the MI5, the British intelligence arm, the CIA engaged to put Guyanese of Indian origin to fight against Guyanese of African origin, to disrupt the racial unity that existed in the political movement under the People's Progressive Party to fight for independence. And from then on, the country is still suffering from some amount of suspicion and distrust between two major ethnic groups, and all because of what the colonial masters tried to do. So against this background, being a politician in Guyana is challenging because the politics sometimes does not resonate purely around issues, but can also become racial in context. And ethnicities comes in, and sometimes rather than debate on policies and so on, someone see you first as an Indo-Guyanese or they see you first as an Afro-Guyanese. And before they go into the material that you're actually presenting, they would have already established a bias because of who you are and what you're perceived to represent. And I think India to some extent also suffer from this when the British would have sought to exploit the differences that existed among not real ethnic groups here, but different religious grouping and different groups as according to the caste system and all of that. So it's a playbook replica of what the British do, divide and rule. And that it is from this context I would consider that, you know, being a politician in Guyana is a little bit more challenging than being a diplomat, because Guyanese are very united outside of the shores of Guyana. All of us live together. And here, so far from Guyana, you know, I represent my country, I represent my government to the best of my ability, and I represent all the peoples of Guyana to the best of my ability. Yeah. And I'm not faced with this kind of historical prejudice in India as you might find in Guyana. Luckily, these new generations you have less and less of these kind of differences that was promoted and consciously so by the British Empire to keep us divided so that they can rule uninterrupted. So it's from that context I would say that being a politician, but I've been there, and I must say, even if I say so myself, whilst being challenging, it has been a successful tenure for me.
Great, great. Definitely, Excellency, you are a quite experienced in the both the areas, and so you are the right person to tell the facts.
Yes.
As you are aware, the India is one of the good partner, best partner of Guyana since so many years.
Yes.
And as Guyana as a Caribbean country and surrounding countries like the Suriname, Trinidad, Tobago, and Guyana itself. So India and Indian people always love to be a part of that world in the Caribbean, even though now so many people have started coming there also. But when we talk about more about the bilateral relationship between India and Guyana, so as if you can, we are here in 2025 now, and down the line in by 2030, if you can talk to today more about how is the situation in next 5 years, what kind of uh, support may be needed from the both the government side to push this bilateral trade at the next level, so that the people to people contact and business to business contact will improve
Yeah.
at next level.
You see, I think in India's own economic development over the recent decade or decade and a half would have positioned would have positioned India itself as an option to look at, right? And Guyana, as of the last 7, 8 years, would have also gone through, let's say more along or just over a decade or so, because we would have discovered oil in 2015 and started exploitation of these resources in 2019. And before that, we were considered a poor country, a highly indebted poor country. And now with the discovery of oil itself, we consider one of the fastest growing economy. And over the last 4 or 5 years, we have had an average of 40% growth in real GDP, and because of the oil sector itself. And we have also averaged outside of the oil sector, in the non-oil sector, growth of between 8 to 9% per annum. And given the fact that India now is considered the fourth largest economy, it is by no stretch of the imagination that collaboration would have increased. We would have established diplomatic relationship with India 59 years ago, right about the time of the same year of our independence. Formal diplomatic relations. We have had relationship even before independence with India. As a matter of fact, when Chedi Jagan government was suspended by the British, Chedi Jagan came here to India to seek the support of the Indian government for them to support him to get the British to remove the suspension of the constitution. And at that time, we did not have formal relationship. But now that we do, and we have 59 years of formal diplomatic relationship with India, and given the fact of both economies doing well, we see their potential for a lot of growth and in economic partnership, cultural partnership, and political partnership in different spheres. And Guyana has a lot to learn in terms of how India would have positioned itself over the decades since its independence and even before that, and playing a major role in the establishment of the non-aligned movement. And how is it that you can stay together with everyone without being a difference with anyone? So we see that for the next 5 years, there are a number of easy for everyone here. And we traditionally would have had a lot of cooperation in the area of pharmaceuticals. Now we're pushing to move those areas into healthcare, into technology, into equipment for hospitals, and more importantly, also to source human resources from India to give us support in our health sector. This year alone, in 2025, we set to commission 7 more new hospitals. This is a small number compared to India, but we are a small country also. So for us, it's of tremendous importance not only to establish the physical infrastructure, but also to have the human resources in place to utilize the infrastructure, the physical infrastructure to work these equipment and to provide top of the line healthcare. In the area of energy also, whilst we are exploiting oil, we are also positioning ourselves as a clean energy provider. So in the areas of hydroelectricity, solar power, wind power, biomass, and all of that. And we are basically positioning Guyana to push more for renewable to be 100% of our energy mix in the years to come. And we are aggressively seeking out the partnership of the government of India and private companies of India. And as we speak even today, we have a number of companies that are executing projects, especially mini solar grid, solar grid type projects in small remote communities where it's difficult, to run these main transmission lines. So along these lines, we expect that for the next 5 years, that our partnership, both politically, culturally, and economically, will improve. And we have a number of students that are studying here in India currently, and we am certain there will be more to come. In agriculture, the field that I am in the rice sector alone, at our research station, we call it the Guyana Rice Development Board Research Station. We have 5 scientists there with PhDs. All 5 of them would have acquired their PhD here, their masters and also their PhD in the area of plant breeding, plant pathology, entomology, agronomy, and plant pathology. So these are scientists who would have received their training here in Guyana. And there are also, like I said, many other professionals, especially in the healthcare area. There's a big private hospital in Guyana that is called the Balwant Singh Private Hospital Corporation. And the owner of that hospital studied here a few decades ago in India. He got married to an Indian young lady, and she is now his partner in running a well-established private hospital in Guyana itself. So these are the areas that we're looking at for cooperation. And of course, with the recent discovery of 11 billion barrels of oil equivalent in Guyana, India is also interested in securing the purchase of oil. And already, I think we have already sold 2 million barrels of oil to India from two different shipments.
Great. So friends, as Excellency has mentioned, so many opportunities, and this is the proof that our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, already visited Guyana, and a lot of MOUs already been signed in different fields, like the not just in oil and gas, but the healthcare, energy, agriculture, mining, maybe in future.
Well, definitely, and also in the mining, the also forestry sector. There is one Indian company now that is actively pursuing the development of forestry concession, and this is a major area. And also the development of the gas, the energy, the oil and gas sector itself. And we expect Indian companies with expertise that these are the areas that they will go in for, the new areas, as against the traditional areas of cooperation in pharmaceuticals, healthcare,
Yes.
human resources, and of course agriculture. Agro-processing also is one of the
Okay.
areas that is, we can learn a lot from the Indian experience.
Definitely, Excellency, as the Indian talents are always looking for, and the investors are looking for the new markets. And traditionally, there are Indian businessmen, specifically if you can talk about the SMEs. For them, there are some specific countries, actually they work with some, maybe some important European countries, the Dubai and some other countries. But as a Global India Business Forum, we also tried that the new countries' opportunities, untapped, unexplored opportunity needs to be explored. And definitely there are great successes started coming. But when we talk about the investment part, and some Indian companies, if we talk about the SME sector, small and medium sector, want to be in Guyana. So they always look for what kind of incentives,
Yes.
what kind of tax benefit is expected for Indian businessmen for the value for money and the return of investment. So on that particular area, we need some guidelines from you how they will get the information and how to tap that information from the correct source.
Right. Well, here at the Guyana High Commission here in Delhi, we have one officer that is dedicated towards trade and investment, and that can provide some amount of guidance. And, the government of Guyana has been trying to increase the amount of foreign direct investment. And to that extent, we have established a single office in Georgetown that is called the Guyana Office for Investment,
Okay.
or Go Investment. So this office will provide potential investors with a variety of services. It's almost like a one-stop shop for different things. And of course, beside offering tax concessions, there is also concession on VAT and different other incentives that will allow you to regain your investment and to repatriate your profits and all of that out of the country. So there are a number of these incentives, like I said, the usual incentives of duty concessions, tax concession, VAT concessions, one office to clear all your questions that you want, and we want to also look at how is it that we can encourage by way of providing land at a cheap rate and so for use of persons who want to go and invest. One of the setback we have is our small consumption power. So investment in the country, by and large, to be profitable, must target the export market, because we're just about 1 million people there.
Which
So-
which surrounding country we can
and
suggest?
we
they can work?
remember of the CARICOM, which is a trade bloc of 15 countries, including countries like Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and all of that. We are also a member of several trading blocs in Latin America itself. So if you're an investor and a producer in Guyana, this will allow you duty-free access to these markets.
15 countries.
Right? 15 countries in the Caribbean alone, and also a few countries in Latin America. Right? And including Brazil and so on. So,
Okay.
right. And Brazil itself is a big, it's a huge country. It's a powerhouse.
Actually, yes.
Yeah, it's a powerhouse.
And now the part of the BRICS, the first country
and
in
now
BRICS
a
is
part of the
Brazil.
BRICS. Correct, a part of the first country in Latin America to be a part of the BRICS itself. So we are courting investments, right? And another area that traditionally was not encouraging for investors is the high cost of energy. So we currently constructing a gas to energy project in Guyana that will produce just about 300 megawatts. This is small compared again to India, but it's huge for us. It's more than enough to satisfy our local demand. With the commissioning of the gas to energy project, we envisage that the cost of energy will be cut by half. Cutting the cost of energy by half, of course, will be an attractive incentive for investors who are targeting agro-processing and different manufacturing and industries. Because, as you know, energy is at the core of agro-processing, manufacturing, and industries. So it is our priority to reduce the cost of energy and to reduce it quickly so as to court investors to come into our country and to make it healthy for them, economically speaking, to have, great returns on their investment.
And when we talk about the bilateral trade, even the job market, for example, for the Indian youngsters, those who maybe look for the another job market apart from the businessman. So, do you suggest any good job potential for the youngsters from India who can seek the opportunity in the Caribbean and specifically in the country like Guyana and surrounding countries?
Well, I can tell you right now, the Ministry of Health of Guyana is actively seeking the services of nurses and both junior and senior doctors.
Okay.
In the business community, I know because I am here, I've been actively also providing business visa and work visa also for persons going to work in the manufacturing sector, the industries and all of that. And definitely we have a scope there for persons who are knowledgeable in the area of forestry, in the area of mining, and also in the area of agro-processing. And these are the areas that you will have opportunity for young people to go and to work there.
So friends, when we talk more about the Caribbean opportunity, and it is very, very good, attractive area, because once upon a time we know West Indies, and people still, some people know that West Indies is a country, that they don't know more that the Caribbean and the few countries they called as the West Indies, and they joined
Yes.
together. The cricket team is also the joined together by Barbados, Guyana, Trinidad, Tobago, Suriname and all. So friends, as High Commissioner has rightly suggested, you can always have a good opportunity even for the job also, as the nurses, the good number of nurses required, the doctors required, some as a technology transfer, some good fintech people as UPI you
Yeah,
suggested.
yes. People trained in the
The training, the
technical aspect
consultants
too.
maybe,
Yeah, and business persons, and of course, electricians and all of
yeah,
these.
so
These are
those are
people,
technically skilled
technically
people.
skilled people who are
Maybe
needed.
even the fabricator also, the
Right, and
fabrication.
in the construct area of construction also. And they have a large number of companies out there executing some huge energy projects now, laying energy transmission lines and building roads. There was the commissioning of a road recently that was built by Ashoka, and Ashoka is currently constructing another highway for us there in Guyana. So there are opportunities there for persons to go there and to work. And yes, the West Indies comprise of all the countries of the Caribbean, of CARICOM, which is the Caribbean community.
Yes,
And I must say the West Indies cricket team is currently in Delhi.
yes.
As a matter of fact, I'll be meeting them later on this afternoon.
Oh, which is the
Um,
best player actually in
I'm
Guyana?
totally unhappy with their performance currently because
But well-known player actually. Which are the well-known
uh,
player in from the Guyana actually? Those are part of the West Indies
well,
team.
the son of Shiv Narayan Chandrapal is in this current team.
Okay.
Right, so there is Royston Chase, and who is also here, but they're not part of the team, unfortunately, is Brian Lara is here, Vivian Richards is here, and also Richie Richardson. These are
They
the
are
greats.
from Guyana.
They're from the West Indies. Brian Lara is from Trinidad and Tobago. Viv Richards, I think he's from Barbados, and Richie Richardson also from Barbados. So the current team comprises of different players. They're not as well known as these people like Chandrapal and all of that. And they will have to work hard to get to be well known. Otherwise, we will not want to know them.
Yeah.
So we hope that we'll be able to perform better in the second test, which is due to start right here in Delhi.
Okay.
And we expect a better performance. I don't think it can get worse. As a West Indian myself, I'm totally unhappy with their performance there. But yes, the West Indies at one time ruled cricket, both Test cricket and one-day cricket. And you cannot remain at the top at all times, but we don't want to remain at the bottom for too long either.
Yeah.
So we'll have to claw our
Okay,
way
I
back.
remember even my school days. I remember all the 11 player name of West Indies players. Those were all the giants.
Yes, that they were. Courtney Walsh, Courtney
Yes,
Ambrose.
Holdings, and
yeah,
even the
yeah.
Patrick Patterson also one top.
Yes, at one time Guyana had 5 players in the team. Rohan Kanai, Clive Lloyd,
Oh.
Alvin Kalicharan, Floyd Backus. These are
Great
Guyana's
players.
of,
Great players.
of the greats that put West Indies cricket at the top of world cricket.
True.
So, sometimes our players perform very well at IPL, and then they don't do so well when they
The
represent.
Chris Gale is not from Guyana.
He's from Jamaica.
He's from Jamaica.
Yeah, Chris Gale is from Jamaica. Yes, and yes. So these are great players. Yes.
Definitely. And Excellency, you've been a part of Global India Business Forum initiative like the India, Latin American and Caribbean Conclave, and which was happened in Bangalore this time. And you were very well part of, oh sorry, it was in Hyderabad.
Hyderabad,
It was
yes.
in Hyderabad. And your presentation also is well noted and appreciated by many businessmen. We just want to know what more support maybe, or what more initiative maybe the chamber like Global India need to take more frequently, or what kind of programs you are expecting, so that these ties will be more, have the more strong ties for the next few years?
Yeah, so as I said early on, the areas that we have that we can develop more is, of course, the oil and gas sector, agro-processing sector, various type of manufacturing and industries, and the health sector, the area of pharmaceuticals. And I also want to say again that one of our fundamental drawback or shortcoming is the small consumption power that we have. So to that end, we have to target the export market. And we have to work also to put the productive infrastructure in place, mainly energy, but also we are building our road network, and we hope to start constructing rail network. We want to improve our IT, our digital network, because this is the new frontier: artificial intelligence, the digital technology, information and communication technology, satellite technology. Communication must be lightning fast. Ease of doing business must be lightning fast. A one-stop shop, and these are the areas that we have to build itself, to make it attractive. Because as an investor, you want to go where services are reliable, energy is cheap and reliable, the ease of doing business is there. You can have excellent connectivity, and not only physical connectivity but also digital connectivity. They're able to interact with the economies of North America, the economies of Europe, and of course the economies of Asia itself. And to this extent, we are using our resources from the oil and gas sector to build a productive infrastructure, a manufacturing infrastructure, industry infrastructure, an energy infrastructure that will be resilient and that will be top-notch in a non-oil environment. So right now, those are the areas that we are concentrating on, because the competition for direct investment is also very stiff. And as an investor, you want to go into a country that will provide an environment for ease of doing business. And those are the areas that we are concentrating on currently. Unfortunately, we lost a number of years because of a non-progressive government, almost 30 years between the period 1964 to 1992, when Guyana became a very backward country. And from then on, we're trying to play catch up, So whilst we are building and catching up, we're also looking towards the future, because we'll be never able to stay apace if we're only looking to catch up. So we have an eye on what is it that we have to do to catch up, and we also have one eye on what is being done today for tomorrow, so that we'll be a part of the game, we'll be part of the pack that is in front there. And we want our country to play an important role in the new dynamics of trade and industry and in development, especially in the area of artificial intelligence, and the area of providing also top-notch healthcare, and to that extent, we are looking to pattern after India's experience with health tourism. This is an area that we want to aggressively pursue, and that is why we've been constructing these hospitals, because we feel that we can be very competitive in the Western Hemisphere. Of course, not being competitive here, we're so far off, we will not be a competition to what India has to offer. But we can be very competitive in the Western world-class health tourism here, where people can come get their specialized care and also enjoy it in an environment of comfort.
Great. So friends, we are at the end of this great discussion with the High Commissioner of Guyana in India, and we discussed so many good points that the future of both countries lies with our youngsters, and there are so many opportunities for the Guyanese and the Indian businessmen in each other country. Specifically talking about Indian youngsters, they have a lot of good job opportunity. They can not just think about Guyana, but as a CARICOM as the 15 country joint group, and a lot of business opportunity already we discussed in this particular discussion. So, Excellency, we are so happy that you gave us the lot of good information, lot of points to thought about how to go for the investment market when the Guyana is definitely doing well now, politically stable also, and the future of Guyanese people along with India support, maybe
Yes.
fintech and for technology transfer. I think the time will definitely good if we can have a more good shake hand together for long, and definitely our Prime Minister Modi is of the same vision of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. They are, we are all in touch with many countries, but definitely these 5 6 countries like where actually the Indian dominance is there, and our Indian citizens who was the past old citizens, they are still there. Their future generations are doing so well, and you are one of them. So we are very happy to see you here in India, and wish you all the best, Excellency.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. And I think, after we have been interacting with the Global Indian Business Forum for some months now, I think you have a very impressive network, and you can use that network to enhance the linkages between Guyana Business Environment, Guyana High Commission, with potential investors here in Guyana. That we're also looking to also make investment here. I know, out in the wider world, Guyana rum, the El Dorado brand, and the Banks the Irish Rum is well liked, and we're looking also, I know the El Dorado brand is looking also to probably make an investment here in India to do bottling of this well-known spirit here in Guyana. So I'm certain that, the Global India Business Forum has an important role to play in terms of linkages, how you can partake in harmonizing relationship and making these linkages between the different missions that are here and the different business chambers that are likely to come and to interact with your partners here.
Yeah. Definitely, it's our responsibility that, and we already started working very strongly, and soon we are going to inaugurate India Guyana Business and Cultural Council. So where the culture and business always go hand in hand.
Yes.
The website is almost ready, so we'll come back to you on that particular topic soon, and maybe we'll plan some inauguration program, maybe in the embassy under your leadership, Excellency.
Certainly, we are here to be of assistance in the best way possible. Our staff are always here, and we'll do our best to enhance the level of cooperation between the people of Guyana and the government and people of India. And we have so much in common, we can say that we can hit the ground running.
Thank you, Excellency. Thank you.
Thank you very much for
nice meeting.
affording the opportunity to do this interview also.
Thank you so much.